Hello, this is a SEO site audit for Eric of Three Lions Security Limited. So we met at the networking meeting in Thrapston and you asked me to have a quick look over your site. So I've gone through and done what I would call an audit for you, which will highlight a number of the issues you have with the site and listing things that you need to, like a checklist of things that you need to get done to help you improve your rankings. So I hope that you'll find it useful. This video is unlisted, so unless anybody has the address, nobody will be able to find it. They won't be able to search for it, so it is just for you. Although of course if you want to share it with any business partners or whatever, just share them the link and they'll be able to watch this video as well. So I'm just going to take you through your website and show you some of the issues. I've got a notepad here where I've just taken some notes of some of the issues with the site, and we can kind of quickly talk through those. I expect this will take about 15 to 20 minutes. So start off with, it's a nice little site, it's functional, it's on WordPress, which is good. There are a few kind of legal things that need to happen. You need to have an EU cookie consent pop-up. You've probably seen those annoying little pop-ups on other websites, but you need to have one on here so that you can do that via a WordPress plugin. There are plenty of those. And also you need to have, I can't find them anywhere, some privacy pages and your terms and conditions pages, especially as a limited company. You should really have those on the website as well, and you can just pop them in the footer bar here, the footer menu here, to keep them out of the way, but they really ought to be there. One comment on the home page is there isn't really a lot of information, and to improve your rankings then it would be a good idea to add some more content. One of the biggest issues I see with websites these days is they try and kind of look better than they are useful to Google. So it looks nice, you've got a big header image here and you've got the three page boxes here, but the only real content is this little bit here, and it's not really enough for Google to be able to understand what your site is all about. And so let's just have a quick look at the Moz toolbar. This is something that just gives us some information about the page, and you'll see as we go through this that there are some reoccurring themes. Page title. This is should be around about 75-ish characters, and yours is 133. And for most of the pages, the page title is too long. So we need to look at reducing the page title. The meta description as well, which is here, this is the snippet that shows when somebody does a search in Google. This is too long as well. This should be shorter than this, otherwise it gets truncated and it doesn't make sense. So we need to look at shortening those on the page. One of the things that most of your pages have got are these meta keywords. Now this has been dropped by Google several years ago, so it's frowned upon really now to have them in here. So I would remove those keyword tags. That's probably been done by the Yoast plugin, but you can disable that. So I would get rid of those. We've got an H1 tag here. There's no H1 tag. It would be good and helpful to have an H1 tag, although we've got an H2 tag. That's possibly something to do with the theme, or it might just be the way in which the text has been formatted, but you would certainly want to have an H1. Not having an H1 and having an H2 wouldn't make any sense to Google, so that needs to be looked at. There's no bold words or italics. Ideally you want to bold and italicize some of your keywords throughout the content, preferably in the first paragraph. And this is the alt text. This is the little explanation that you can add to any images that you've got on the page, so that Google can read them and understand what the images about, and also screen readers if you've got people with accessibility problems, short-sightedness, those kind of things. Then the screen readers will be able to tell them what the images are. And all throughout your site, your alt text really could do with being better optimized. This is pretty much the standard that we've got on every single page, and that's mainly due to the logos and that in the footer, and any of these header banners that are floating around here. So it would be better to look at improving the alt text. And again, through WordPress, that's reasonably straightforward, because each image has the facility to add an alt text to it. So we just need to look at planning these out for your site. In terms of your something called markup, there isn't any markup on any of the site. Schema markup is something that is a code that you put into the site which will tell Google exactly what your page is about. You should, as a local business, have at least local business markup. You can use a plugin to help you with this, and it should ideally be in JSON, but it could also be in microdata format. But really, it tells Google what your business is, where it is, and also tells what other profiles, your social profiles, so it can start to build up an idea of who your business is on the web and start linking those properties together, so that when you tweet something or you share something on Facebook, Google can understand that it actually came from your website, and that will all help as things improve with your markup. With your rankings. One last issue on the home page. Something that is a ranking factor these days, which again now isn't that difficult to do, is to switch to an HTTPS website, a secure website. You'll need to make sure that you do any redirects from the old site to the new site, but that would also help to give your site a little ranking boost. So just looking at these other pages, we've got things like security guarding, and again it's a fairly similar theme. We've not got anywhere near enough content on these pages. There should be at least 300 words as a very minimum, and if you're looking to outrank competitors, then you need to make sure that you've got more and better quality content for your pages to make sure that that you rank for these. And again, looking at the on-page stuff, we've got page title too long, meta description it's a little bit too long. We've got meta keywords that need to be removed. We've got an H1 tag, but really we could do with better optimizing that so that it's more keyword rich. And we've got a why use us. That's a bit of a waste of a keyword in the H2 tag. Again, no bolding or italics to identify or highlight the keywords that this page is about. So in an ideal world, you have for each of these pages, say this is your security services page, your title will reflect that, your meta description will reflect that, the keyword the keywords that are bolded in the text reflects that, the H1 tags reflect that, the H2 tags, the images, the alt images, alt text on the images reflects that as well. So the whole page is themed around these keywords. So I won't go through the rest of them because they're all pretty much the same. Just moving over to here, accreditations, again it's just a similar theme. There's just not much content, and Google is really doesn't like what's known as thin content, pages that don't have much content. So you need to look at putting more information on your pages, or combining the pages so that it's so that they're kind of better laid out. Also, the meet the team I thought was a bit odd, because I was expecting to see staff images and that kind of thing, and I got an about us page essentially. So you might want to look at kind of rewording that or doing something so that it seems to make more sense. and it looks as if there's been some copying and pasting has gone on, because there's a lot throughout the whole site. There are these areas here where you've got odd characters, and these are misformatted characters, usually where something's been copied and pasted from Word and it's gone in, and WordPress hasn't quite understood the character coding that's gone through. So this all needs to be attended to. It should be fairly straightforward just to go through the text and make the changes so that we get rid of these odd characters. I noticed there was a lot of it on the job vacancies page as well. Down here we've got kind of odd characters around here and here, here, various other, we've got leather load here, and I think on one of the pages, right at the bottom, where was it, one of the pages, contact us. One of the pages had got a big banner at the bottom which has kind of got your motto, and that was messed up as well. So let me just see if I can quickly find that for you whilst we're flicking through. The other thing that the other thing that we can do to the site is what's called siloing. And siloing is about building. Oh, I can't find that thing now. It will pop up somewhere. The other thing is to do with siloing, and that is where we create content stacks, if you like, and where we start linking from our content to relevant content within our site. So we haven't got any of that at all, so we're not helping Google to understand what the site is about. The other issues, looking through my little list here, is that we're looking at targeting these local areas, which is absolutely fine, but there's nothing on the site other than the keywords that have been put in, which need to be got rid of, that really indicates that you are a local site targeting these areas. So really, to do this properly and efficiently, it would be a good idea to have a locations tab here with the various locations and the services that you provide in those locations, and then build out content within each of those. So let's say for Wellingborough, so let's say you want to provide these 4 services within Wellingborough, where you recreate these pages within the Wellingborough location tab, and you then put the content in there and you make the content relevant to Wellingborough. So that really needs to, if you want to rank locally, you really need to look at doing more about optimizing your site for local search intent, because at the moment you're not really taking advantage of that, although the keywords seem to suggest that that's what you want. So overall, there's quite a few things from an on-page point of view that need to be looked at. Your Google My Business page, that's an important element, because it kind of tells Google about your business, and really that kind of ties everything together. And the main ways that Google will tie that together is by using what's known as the NAPW, which is your name, address, phone and website. And these details need to be the same across all of your web properties and directory listings. So on your Twitter, on your Facebook, on your Google My Business, on your Yelp or Yale.com listings, all the free listings that you can get, these all need to be exactly the same, and they need to be the same as what is on your Google My Business page, which at the moment is showing this address, which is slightly different to what you've got, well, it is different to what you've got on your website, and different to what you've got, because as we see down here, we've got your registered address. So it might be better if you put the registered address in your, say, your terms and conditions page, and then you had your centre address down here, and which would then match up with what was on the contacts page, and the contacts page address is again slightly different to this, so that would need to be changed up so that it actually matched the address, because it needs to be exact. You see, they haven't got that in the Google My Business listing. and the postcode is formatted slightly differently as well. So there's little thing, it might not seem much, but in Google's eyes they're as different as chalk and cheese. So you need to make sure that the NAP address is laid out correctly and is the same and consistently the same. Otherwise you won't benefit from those mentions, what are known as citations, from across the web. So I think we've got a good deal of things that we can target on page. You've got a lot of keywords here, and you could have got the opportunity to make some really good content up about this. So a content marketing campaign, creating interesting posts about all of these topics, and then getting people to link back to those articles locally will really help you to start to boost the authority of this website, and really help to improve your rankings, which will of course get you more calls, inquiries, and generate more business. So I hope you found that useful. I've got a separate report which I shall include with the email to you, and I'll send this all over with a link to this video so that you can watch it, and if you need to, you can obviously watch it a couple of times. So feel free to get in touch if you want some advice on how to get all of this done on the implementation. That certainly is a service that we can help you with, or if you're able to do it yourself, we quite happy to act in a consultancy manner as well. So I hope you found that useful, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye bye now.